My name's Kristen. I have my friend Molly here helping me. And what's really helpful, I can't, as you guys know, this is a new thing for us this year. We're just getting on YouTube. There are a lot of reasons we made the jump off Facebook and onto YouTube. But what's really helpful is for folks to just hop in the chat in the YouTube comments and just let us know if you can see and hear us. Okay. My helpers online are saying that I'm live, but folks who are at home and watching, give us a shout out in the comments on YouTube. Let us know how the video quality is, how the audio quality is. I've got my Starlink here up and running, and we're going to do a little walkabout because I want to see exactly how far I can get from the Starlink. So I'm just going to wander this way a little bit. Molly, can you get on the comments on YouTube? Thanks. Okay, for those who are just joining us, this is mile 36. I apologize if I say things wrong this morning. I'm a little tired. I didn't get a ton of sleep last night. This is mile 36. This is Robinson Flat Campground, which when the ride is not in session, this is a lovely space in California. It's Forest Service, and anybody can come up here and camp and hang out. I was asking folks if they can hear and see us, and Molly is saying yes.
Great picture and sound quality.
Awesome. Okay, so keep telling me. We're going to go a little bit further because, again, I just want to see how far I can get from my Starlink before it starts to drop the quality. So what we're looking at here is this is where the horses are going to come down. So we should be expecting horses any minute. And you can see the tape and the cones. The horses come on one side of that. The crew goes on the other. And the horses come right down here. They have a drink. They get a sponge. They get cooled. And then they continue along. And we have the P&R station here. I'm going to take you guys down there. Again, just pop in the comments if for some reason the video quality reduces or you can't hear me. Like I said, we're just testing how far the Starlink is going to maintain connection. But here's the P&R station. We have our fabulous P&R folks here. And off in the distance, you can see where the crews are. I highly doubt we'll be able to walk that far and maintain connection, but that's where all the crews are, and you can set up space for your horse. We have the bathrooms, really important. Water, really important. And here's the vets and the vet-in area. So here at Robinson Flat, they have a bunch of different lanes. They send the horses kind of in some different directions. You can see the cones down there. But yeah, we have our fantastic vets and their secretaries. So the vets are in the yellow vests, and their scribes are in the orange vests. And yeah, so it's a whole, like I said, one-way stream down. Thanks, Jackie. Got my other friend Jackie helping me out online, and good. Glad everybody can hear and see. Let's go a little further and see kind of where the boundaries are, because it's good to test this now before horses come in. Okay. So we'll walk down here and see. So like we were just looking at the other side, so here's the P&R tent, and the horses come down, and we have that orange tent there. It says Vet Tech on it, which is a farrier supply company. And the horses come through, and they come to the vet-in area, and yeah, they come see the vets. As you guys probably know, I know a lot of you tune into the live feed every year. We don't show the vet-in or the vet check process. That's between the rider and the vets. Rest assured, these horses are extremely well taken care of. These vets are very diligent monitoring for problems. It's one of the reasons why Tevis has a much lower completion rate. Is not only it's a tough trail, but our vets are always monitoring for safety and making sure These horses are sound and fit to continue. I'm gonna, like I said, go down a little bit further. We'll see. I see that I have my little Wi-Fi indicator guy here that might be accurate. Okay. Oh, and we have Dr. Perales is here. He's got his Tevis head vet vest on. And we got some folks waving. And here's the vet in lines. So you can see some 2 cones that way. They've got another one that goes this way. These are some of the historic buildings at the campground at Robinson Flat. I wish I could tell you more about them. I'm not the resident historian. But they're old and they are protected. And we have the caution tape up around them so people don't go in trouble. Okay, we have horses in. So we have Sonoma Likely and her father, I believe it's pronounced Wash. And here they come on down. This is horse number 12 and horse number 5. Okay. I'm going to back up here, stand in the shade a little bit. So they're getting their pulses by the volunteers. So actually I was wrong. So it looks like they are going to have the horses come right down this little pathway here that I walked down and come get their pulses. All right, so we've got our shout out to our cup committee, letting everybody know the rules, very important. So one of the things that folks should know is once you've, the crew are allowed to be up here at the water troughs and where the horses get a drink and you can crew. Okay, we've got more horses coming in. Let's see. I think we might have, let's go see who it is. Yep, we got 2 horses. Okay, so we've got Andy Botello on the gray mare. That is Royal Patron. That mare, I'll come a little closer so you guys can see. She won the ride. I don't remember what year off the top of my head. I think it was 2016. And then she was ridden by Karen Donnelly, who I believe is this woman here in the pink shirt. And we got a chestnut horse. Let's get a number. We're going to ask our friend, we're getting lots of horses in. Molly, could you tell me numbers or names for these folks? I'm going to call out. Okay, we've got, looks like the Reynolds are in. Yep, we've got Jeremy and Heather and their horses, and it looks like one of their riders. Here's Andy, the gentleman with the dreads. And okay, so we got horse number 4 and horse number 56. So like I said, that is the oldest horse in the race this year. She is, I believe, 24 and former Tevis Cup winner. She won the ride in, I believe, 2016. We love our senior horses. That's one of the great things about endurance is the horses that you that keep going in this sport. The record at Tevis is actually 27. We had a 27-year-old horse complete the ride. Gosh, that was probably about 6 or 7 years ago now, and he holds the record for the oldest horse to complete Tevis Cup. All right, so they've gone down to the pulse area. Let's, okay, so here's Heather Reynolds and her husband Jeremy Reynolds right behind her. That's Jeremy and Treasure. A lot of people really love Treasure. She's always a fan favorite. And this is Sonic. And Molly might be able to get us some fun facts about,
give me a minute.
In the Google Drive, there's a document with fun facts. So Treasure here, the bay, has won the ride twice. She has also won the Hagen Cup. All right, so Jeremy, yes, Treasure's, I think Jeremy's going for his 11th. Oh, I'm sorry, Heather is going for her 11th finish, hopefully. Oh, and here we have Jay Merrow. I missed Jay, sorry, Jay. So that's horse number 1, Sonic. We have horse number 26, that's Jay Merrow. Jay's not on this horse, but she won the Hagen Cup a few years ago on her mare Lena. So you have a lot of Tevis Cup, Hagen Cup winners here that have just come in. How's video, little video audio check? I was a little quiet before. I'm trying to hold the mic closer to my mouth. How's everybody hearing and seeing us? Thank you. I'm a little grumpy today. I'm not going to lie. I'm a little tired, and I'm just a person that when I'm tired, I'm a little grumpy. But I'm happy to be here with you guys, supporting Tevis, supporting the live feed, and telling you about what's going on here. Awesome. Thank you for the feedback. If you have any questions, comments, anything, keep them coming in the chat. Molly is monitoring the chat. Jackie is monitoring the chat. And I got to do this for 3 hours, and then I go down to Forest Hill, and I'm going to do it for like 5 hours. So I like audience engagement. Please don't be a stranger. Ask questions, say hi. You can give feedback, whatever. Okay, so it looks like they're still working on pulsing Treasure here. Jeremy, very... He's making sure that crew knows their job and what to do. It's very important. When you're competitive in this sport, I mean, it's, minutes matter. They really matter. So there's Treasure, horse number 2. Like I said, 2-time Tevis Cup winner. She also won the Hagen. And lots of people are taking photo and video. Jeremy's kind of... Everybody loves Jeremy and Heather, with good reason. Okay, so there goes Treasure down to the pulse box. And I can see there on the other side of the vet check, it looks like Sonoma and Wash are leaving the vet check. So we've got some horses vetted in here at Robinson Flat. I'm going to tilt this down a little bit. There we go. Okay, so let's see. Anybody keeping track? How many horses we have in? About 8. Okay, so looks like we've got about 8 horses that have come in here at Robinson Flat. If anybody is looking for info, go to teviscup.org, and on the front page, you scroll down, there's a nice button. I believe it says a yellow button, and it says Ride Day Links, 2026 Ride Day Links. And if you click on that, you'll see a whole list of all sorts of interesting information. You can see the GPS spot trackers. You can see the live standings, which is the timing. You can see all the links to YouTube, Facebook, all the good stuff. And lots of good information, too, just on the teviscup.org website. If you're curious about the trail, the history of the ride, fun facts, figures, statistics, anything like that. Really? Okay. So, well, hey, how about this? My horse's half-brother is entered this year. Shout out to Emily. She's on Finn. She will, come on down the trail here at some point. We hope to see her, and I'll let you know when he comes in, because he and his half-sister look a lot alike. My mare's name is Issa. I live in Washington. I'm from California originally, but moved to Washington in 2022. Shout out to Pacific Northwest region. We have a number of Washington riders in the ride this year. I'm excited to share that with you guys later on when they come on down. We have 2 mother-daughter duos who are riding this year, all from Washington. Great humans. We'll see them when they come in later. Okay, there's Andy, kind of in the distance there. He's leaving with Royal Patron. And what is the name of Karen Donnelly's horse this year, the Chestnut? Miss Crossfire is the Chestnut that Karen's on this year.
People are interested in sort of the crewing protocol. Do people mess with other people's horses? Can anyone cool down a horse?
Great questions. So generally, no. I mean, endurance is, what you get to know people, you compete in the sport, you wave, you smile, you see a lot of faces, But in general, no. People have their own dedicated crews. There are the occasional hardcore folks who do this ride with no crew. I'm not aware of anybody doing that this year or the last couple of years. I'd have to fact check that. But it is possible. You could just do the ride without crew, but most people these days use crew. Ah,
that in.
okay, good. Yes, vets will go through that criteria. But just to finish on the crew side, so no, it's usually family, friends. Some people hire crew. If you're going to be if your goal is to be competitive in the Tevis, your crew needs to run a tight ship. You need to be organized. A lot of these crews have been crewing for years. They really know their jobs. They know the horses well. They have horse experience, horse handling experience, all of that good stuff. Some of them are endurance riders themselves. They might be partners, family members of the rider. I have generally used my family members and my close friends for crew personally when I've done hundreds. And then I've done hundreds with no crew, and let me tell you, I just don't recommend it personally, but that's just me. Okay, so what are the vets looking for? So the same criteria as we do at all AERC sanctioned rides. We're gonna pan around and we're gonna say hi to Cruz. Hello, Cruz. Okay, so the first thing they're going to do is they come into that P&R zone and they're going to get the horse's pulse to 60. The pulse criteria is 60 at this check. It does not go up to 64 until later in the day, I believe. Oh gosh, see, this is why I don't have it memorized. I memorize this when I'm riding, not when I'm volunteering. I believe it increases at Last Chance or Chicken Hawk. I apologize, I can't remember. It's later on in the ride that the pulse criteria goes up to 64 beats per minute, but right now it's 60. So that's why some of these folks took a little extra minute here. They needed to get these horses down to 60, and the horse does not proceed through the P&R area until the pulse criteria is met. So that's first and foremost. Get that pulse down, and then the vets are going to look for a couple of different parameters. We look at gut sounds. They look at all the hydration parameters, skin tinting, jugular, capillary refill. They look at muscle tone, anal tone, just indicators of horse well-being. And then there is a trot out, which of course is the lameness exam. So in endurance in the United States, we just do a trot back and forth. So trot forward, turn around, trot back. At the Tevis Cup, if a horse is looking off, it is two vets are going to look at the horse. At least two vets are going to put eyes on the horse. That's why we have... I'm quiet. Let's fix that. I'm just going to put the microphone in my mouth. There we go. It's going to be multiple vets making that decision. So, again, rest assured, these horses are well taken care of. Some of the vets that vet for Tevis are... top vets internationally and nationally. They're great people, and they return a lot of them return year after year to help us out here and make sure the horses are all in good shape. So yeah, those are the three big things that we're looking at is, again, hydration parameters, gut sounds, see if there is gut motility going on, which is directly tied to hydration, as well as consumption of food. And then we're also looking for soundness at the trot out. Okay. Yeah, I would say, yeah, it's dry enough out here. That's the nice thing about the West Coast, right, is we actually have evaporative cooling, unlike our friends on the East Coast who don't. Yes, these horses will, even getting wet and sponged down like this, it's about 75 degrees out here. Oh, it's 81. Okay. I don't know. It's 81 degrees, so I would say this is a warmer year for sure. Usually when I've been up at Robinson a number of years now, and usually it's more in the, I would say, low 70s is more of a temp usually at this time of day. So it's going to be toasty. It's going to be a hot one today, but it's Tevis, and Tevis is always hot. It's just degrees of hot. Yeah, it's good questions. That's yeah. No, thank you for that sidekick, Molly. So the question was, how would you prepare for a ride like this if you live on the East Coast or you live in a cooler climate? Those are two often discussed questions, and there's a lot of different ways of conditioning horses, but the good news is we actually have a decent amount of science on this now and research that's been done on aerobic, anaerobic thresholds and conditioning in horses. We have a horse. It's Nicole Wirtz and her horse Sammy. And did Sammy get the Hagen? Yes. I'm being nodded at. Okay, so this is another Hagen Cup horse. I think he was last year, yeah?
I think last year.
Okay. You can fact check us folks online, but so this is Sammy. He was the Hagen Cup winner last year. And he's ridden and owned by Nicole Wirtz. Sorry, trying to hold the camera still for you guys. It's a little hard since I'm moving. Okay, we have another horse coming in. It's John Perry. What number is John this year? Oh, you know what? No, I apologize. It was John Perry's mare that won the Hagen last year. Maybe Sammy was the year before. All right, so these horses have just come in, and you can see that going back, people were asking about crew. You can see the crew busily. So they're putting a lot of water on these horses, right? These horses are pretty hot. It's already 81 degrees out, cooling. There's been a lot of research on this. There was some really great research done at the 96 Olympics by a veterinary committee. Okay, we have another rider here, and I'm, all right, yeah, there he goes. That's rider number 9. Oh, we have another person in. Wander down this way a bit. So back to cooling. Yeah, you can see that they're focusing mainly on the parts where you get a lot of veins. Okay, we have horse number 48.
Emily Farmer.
Oh, okay, that's Emily Farmer, rider number 48. It just came through here. Apologies. Okay, so rider number 68 here, the chestnut, is Emily Farmer. Horse is having a good drink, still getting cooled. We have 68 and then 48 was the one that went by. Okay, I'm just monitoring the chat here while I'm waiting to get you rider number 48's name. Looks like we have 2 official polls so far in the ride. I don't have information on who that is. Anybody who's looking for the official standings, again, go to the links in the comments here of our live YouTube feed, and you can click on the official standings. You can sort by check, you can sort by rider, you can sort by all sorts of different information. 48 was, I apologize, Ronveg. Every year I destroy your name. She is Norwegian. And what's her last name? Amat. I really should ask and figure out how to pronounce this poor woman's name. But, all right, we have another horse coming in. I thought I saw a horse. Yeah. Good question about saddling. Let's see who we've got coming in here, and then it's I believe Raina Marrow. This is Jay's daughter. Jay Marrow is a veterinarian. She came through earlier on the chestnut. Number 15. Let's check that. Yep, number 15. This is Raina Marrow. So she just came in.
Want to talk about feet hoof protection?
Oh gosh, I gotta save that. That's a long one. Yeah. No, we were getting some questions about hoof protection. You know what I can do is remember to comment on it. So I believe this mare has sneakers on. They're the orthotic shoe. They were invented by the former head farrier at UC Davis. They're very popular in endurance on the West Coast. They are a hybrid shoe. It's a metal oval shoe with some composite material on it as well. They are shoe that you nail on. I actually not sure if you can glue them on. I guess you could direct glue them on if you really wanted to. But sure. Thanks for asking. Somebody taking our picture. Okay, so Raina is cooling. Back to tack. Yeah, so you'll notice that all of these horses are naked by the time they are coming in here, and that's because tack it's hot. It's not always heavy, but it's hot. Okay, we've got 2 more riders. We've got Susie Hayes and I think number 3.
3 and 5.
I think that's is that Suzanne Ford Huff?
Yeah.
Okay, we got Suzanne Ford Huff here inspecting her saddle, and we have next to her Susie Hayes. We have another rider in. Okay, this is horse number 100. That's Molly Kuraz, horse number 3. Yes, so this is Chindanka's Express. We have in our little fact sheet some fun facts about this horse. I believe he's going for the Roby Cup for his 5th finish. And he's itchy, very itchy. We're always very itchy when we're a horse coming in. Okay, so yeah, this horse right here is going for his 5th Tevis finish. If he completes this evening or tonight, then he will be a Roby Cup horse, which is horses that have finished the ride at least 5 times. Okay, here comes Susie. Thank you. I see my folks in the chat. Yeah, I thought sneakers were nail on only. I mean, again, if you wanted to get wild and crazy, you could direct glue them. Not that I would recommend that. But, you want to spend your time and money, you can. Okay, so yeah, we take all the tack off. We're cooling the horses. Again, you can see Raina's crew is still over here. It looks like they've gotten the mare cooled. And that helps drop their pulse. So that's the biggest reason we're doing that. Is a cool horse is a horse that is going to recover faster. That's a heart rate monitor she's got here. This is one style of the polar heart rate monitors. And yes, that mare is wearing sneakers. I can see them now clearly. And any of our helpers who are online, if you want, and you see any of these horse rider combos come through where there's some fun facts about them, feel free to put the fun facts in the chat too, and that way, we all help each other out. Shout out to the whole live feed crew. We this transition to YouTube this year was a bit of a hairy beast, and we got it done, and we figured it out, and we're able to bring you this live coverage. The reason we made the switch to YouTube was because we can do multiple live streams. So I believe Lucy is still live at Elephant's Trunk, or she may have just ended. And as the day goes on, right, the horses get spread more and more out. And that's why we moved away from Facebook, as they don't allow multiple live feeds at the same time. So we switched to YouTube. Not quite as user-friendly, but as you can see here, we're getting it done. Okay. So one of the things that I've been volunteering here with the live feed since 2014, I believe. So this would be what year is it? It's 2026. Math. 12 years. I only missed 1 year in the last 12. And one of the things that I've noticed is the pacing and the flow of the ride is really changing. So we are seeing less entries now in the Tevis Cup than we did in years past. At the peak of the ride, which was, oh gosh, again, I'm doing this by memory. I think it was the 80s or 90s. We had almost 300 horses entered. And now this year we only had, I believe, 103 start. There's a number of reasons for that. In the U.S., we're seeing a decline in horse sports across the board. It is an incredible amount of blood, sweat, tears, time, energy, love, passion to get a horse even fit enough and ready to compete in something like the Tevis Cup. And as we all know, as people living and existing in the world, things are not getting cheaper. They're getting more expensive. And so I think there's lots of reasons why we're seeing a decline. But that's one of the things that the live feed is working hard to do and we're all passionate about is keeping the sport alive and trying to bring you coverage so that, who knows, one of you out there who's not done endurance, you might go, wow, I really want to give that a shot. Okay, we got a little gap here. Let's see. Molly has been feeding me questions. We're going to go back over and see what else we can I feel like I answered some of these questions halfway. What do we need to revisit? Because I get distracted.
Ask anyone to put a question in the.
Anybody who feels like their question was not properly answered, please feel free to put it in the chat, and I'm happy.
Someone asked, did they get Cinchi being re-saddled so many times?
Oh, Cinchi, I would hope not. So, in my opinion, again, we're moving into Kristen's opinion here, a horse should not be cinchy. That's a sign of discomfort. And so if you've got a cinchy horse, if it's significant enough, like if the horse is really sore, or they have a girth gall or back soreness, you will get pulled. It's called surface factors. And that's another reason a horse would get pulled from the ride. So in general, no. These horses are, they know the drill. They get tacked, they get untacked, they get very used to that routine of coming into a check. They cool, they pulse, they go to the vets. They know their jobs. Especially the horses that have come in thus far are all horses that have, for the most part, finished this ride before, perhaps even multiple times, or are horses that are all established 100-miler horses, for the most part.
Someone wanted you to finish talking about the research that came out of.
Oh yeah, the cooling research. You know, if you Google like 96 Atlanta Olympics horse cooling or something like that, it will probably pop up. It might be publicly available at this point. But what they found sort of dispelled a lot of myths about cooling horses. And in dry climates here like California, it's the continuous flow of water over the surface is what you're looking for. So ideally hosing, right? That's actually, we don't have access to hoses, so that's why we sponge. But in a perfect world, you would get a hose and you would just soak the horse. And that would be the fastest way to cool them and drop their pulse. Sponging is a good second best, and that's what we have access to. Sometimes you can just take a little bucket of water and just dump it straight on. Some people like to use those little misters. Horses are individual though, right? My horse, for example, runs, she prefers warmer temperatures. I don't sponge her unless it's at least 75, 80 degrees. If it's below that, she will get very cold if I cool her and sponge her. She has reasonable metabolic recoveries. So I don't need to get her wet. But again, these horses are, this has been, about the top 15, 20 riders. They're going at a really reasonable pace. And these are a lot of competitive riders. And so they're going to have a different strategy, the people that are coming in at this point in the ride, than the folks who might be coming and joining us in an hour and a half.
And how do people do Tevis if they don't have their own?
Okay. How does one do Tevis if you don't have a Tevis horse? There are a few groups, organizations, people who lease Tevis horses. I know the Reynolds lease horses. There is a group here in California that leases horses. There's not tons of them, and there is a mileage requirement to enter Tevis. I believe it's the rider has to have 300 miles. Yes. Okay. So riders have to have completed at least 300 miles of either AERC endurance sanctioned, or I believe Nat Track rides count. A shout out to North American Trail Riding Conference, which is like a sister sport to endurance. Here's one of the sprayers we were talking about. To each their own, right? Everybody's got their own strategy that they use to cool their horse. A lot of people will avoid putting water on the big, large glute muscles, the rump muscles, right, or past the loin of the horse, because that those muscles can get a little tight if they get cold. And so, but it's already in the low 80s. So again, you got to know your horse. Even if it's not your horse, you need to know that horse. You need to know how it pulses, what to expect, what not to expect. So yeah, for folks who really have a goal of finishing Tevis, there are opportunities to lease horses for the ride, but you would have to reach out to the groups that do that and inquire about what their requirements would be. Oh gosh, the entry fee this year was, it's like 450, 500. We can double check that. One of the online helpers will get us that information. It's right around $500 for the entry fee. Actually, since we got that question, great time to talk about the Western States Trail Foundation, which is a 501c3 nonprofit in the state of California. So a lot of what almost all of what you're seeing here, minus the vets, these are volunteers. These are not people who are getting paid for their time. We have a big shout out for all our volunteers every year. It takes hundreds of people to put on the Tevis Cup. It is a massive logistical ride because it's a point-to-point ride, right? You start in one place, you finish in another. The horse goes down the trail one direction. So it's definitely a labor of love, a lot of volunteer labor. And being a nonprofit, the Western States Trail Foundation, they do a lot of great things, including trail maintenance. Yes, it works out to be an average of about $10,000 per mile of trail that the Western States Trail Foundation has donated and worked with the U.S. Forest Service to maintain and preserve the trails. And again, a lot of that work is also done by volunteers. In fact, some of the riders that have come in already are people who do volunteer work on the trail. Nicole Wirtz is out there a lot doing trail work and help keeping the trails open. Let's see, what else we got here? So in the last 3 years, the Western States Trail Foundation partnered with the U.S. Forest Service and contributed $150,000. There's a reroute of the trail going on from roughly mile 15 to mile 22. That's what's known as the bogs in the high country. It is a beautiful trail up there. You're in alpine wilderness. And that trail is one of the very few sections of the trail that every year folks always ask, oh, can you go and pre-ride it? You can pre-ride a lot of the trail. That section is closed because it's a wilderness area. But the trail has really gotten eroded over the years and needed some help and some love and to be rerouted to a more stable area and location. And so that's one of the things that the Western States Trail Foundation has been working on, is getting that trail into a place where it's more stable and it's going to be safer and preserve the area around it. Okay, we got a horse coming in.
They all want you to get Steadicam next year.
Yeah, sorry folks. We have two options, right? I got a tripod. Either I can put it on the table and hold it still and just kind of spin around, or which we actually, you know what? I could sit down, especially when it gets slow. Good idea. Good feedback. Thanks, everybody. I don't know who this horse is.
I don't either. I'm not going to go lifting up their towels.
Okay. Well, we've got the rider right there. They've got their vet card out. Oh, it's Jen. Oh, my goodness. I just recognized Jen. So this is Jennifer. Yay, Jen. Okay, so that's Jen Stolley. And her dad, Chuck Stolley, and her mom, Pam, are the current ride directors of the ride. Jen, how many finishes does Jen have? I'd have to go look at her record. I think she has 7 or 8. And she started this ride as a junior. Her family has done a lot to sponsor and involve juniors in the sport over the years. And so the whole Stolley family has been actively involved in the Tevis Cup for a long time. Okay, we have horse number 11. Oh, I apologize, folks. I gave you misinformation earlier. This is Jay Marrow. I'm sorry to whomever was here earlier, and I gave somebody's wrong information out. So this is Jay Marrow, DVM. And she, again, not on this horse, but she won the Hagen Cup a few years ago on her mare, Lena. I believe it was Lena. Jay does a lot. She sits on the AERC Veterinary Committee. She's very actively involved in endurance and has been for a couple of decades now as both a vet and a rider. Oh, we have a good-looking gray, number 40. Okay, we have Amelia Vandermeer, number 45. I like the orange with the dark gray. It's a good color combo. And they're from Meadow Vista, California. We got another rider here. We're gonna. I always, I try not to get too much in people's business. Oh, here we go. We'll look at some shoes here for a minute. Okay, so this horse is on in one of the Easy Care cuff shoes. Could be the Speeds. Could be the. He's a handsome guy. He knows what we're talking about.
Shoe package.
Yeah, we're talking about a shoe package. Excellent. So yes, we have a rider here who, much like myself, does her own glue work. That's getting horse number 95. So that was, again, one of the indirect cuff shoes. We have horse 105 here. Karen Stillwell. Karen Stillwell, horse number 105. That's another tactic you can see here that we got cooling on this horse. Is some wet towels, and you just leave them on there, and then they just drip down. I mean, I'm sure any of us who've been outside on a hot day, you put a wet towel on your head, you feel a lot better. It's the same concept. Okay, looks like that was our little rush of horses for now. So now we're going to come over here, and we're going to set our tripod down, and we're going to see if we can get a steadier camera. Oh, the picnic table's too low. All right. There we go. Well, hang on here for a minute. I'm going to drink some water. Well, thank you, everybody. Thanks for this is what I do. I get online and I ramble. So, like I said, I'm just taking a quick little break here. I'm getting myself some water. My ice cubes won't fit. We're going to troubleshoot this.
Oh yeah, that's all the same. We're just trying to keep the troughs clean.
Do you have a bigger? Oh, did you get the water bottles? Oh, okay. Don't worry about it. Do we have an empty bottle with a receptacle bigger than this?
But I will go get those water bottles.
That would be super helpful. Thank you. Just my big one with the stickers and the straw.
Yeah, it's unlocked. Sometimes they just lock on their own.
My
Be
key is.
If it is locked.
All right. Gonna multitask here because my great helper Molly has gone to get my water bottle, which of course I left in the truck. I gotta have my electrolytes. Yeah, going back to heat training. So this is something I've observed both with myself and my horses moving to Washington State. I live outside of Seattle now. And I was in the Bay Area before, so not as hot as this area, but definitely can get toasty. And man, if you don't use it, you lose it. I was sitting outside yesterday in front of my trailer. It's 100 degrees outside. I was in the shade and I was just sweating in the shade because it was 100 degrees. That used to not be as much of a factor for me, but I live in a very different climate now. So going back to our earlier conversation about conditioning and getting ready, if you don't live in a hot climate, there are some tricks. Oh, we got a horse. Okay, we're going to move. Let's see who it is. Well, it's gelding. It's number 67. So I apologize. I don't. It's number 67. If anybody online happens to be able to look up this rider's name or the horse's name and put it in the chat, that's wonderful. This may be one of our gaited horses. I'm not sure. They look like they're non-Arab. This year we have, I believe it was 6 or 7 gaited horses in the ride. And then we had 1 mule. Shout out to our lonely mule. And we had about 6 or 7 Mustangs entered in the ride. And as a lot of people know, Arabs definitely dominate the sport of endurance. There's a number of reasons for that. The breed was designed, I shouldn't say designed, they've been selectively bred for thousands of years basically to do this. Similar to how working dogs, right, have been bred to do their jobs. Arabs are designed to go long distances at moderate speeds. So Arabs are not as fast as thoroughbreds and some of the other breeds, but they certainly have the endurance to get the job done. A lot of half Arabs as well. You'll see Morabs, Korabs, breeds like that. Again, so rider number 67. Sorry, I wasn't able to get your name and give you a shout out in the chat, or in the live feed, I should say. And we do have another horse coming here. Okay, thank you. That was Haley Estevez, who I believe, if I'm remembering from our fun fact sheet that I can double check, I believe she is riding with her grandmother is entered as well. She was one of the grandma-granddaughter duos we have in the ride this year. Okay, we got 2 more horses coming in. This could be one of the Crater Hill horses. We'll find out. Okay, we'll get their number. Oh, that is, sorry, it takes me a minute to recognize people. That's Melissa Montgomery down at the end with her horse. And I don't recognize the rider right in front of me, but we'll get their numbers as they go by. Okay. Horses are having a nice big drink. That's good. We like that. We want to see that. We want to see horses drinking really, really well at this point in the ride. I can only speak for myself, but if my horse was not drinking at this point, I would be very concerned. And I would be having a conversation with the vets about what might be going on and where we're at. And here's Jeremy taking a shower. Getting ready, getting cooled off to go out again. This is endurance. Welcome to endurance, everyone. We just get in the trough sometimes. Okay, we have rider 82 and rider 89. So 89 is Melissa Montgomery, and let's find out who 82 is. Okay, rider number 82 was Kirsten Knar from Davis, California. Okay, so we had, I see here in the chat, somebody was asking, can you also donate money to sponsor a rider's committee? Absolutely. That would be something, we actually had a number of sponsored riders this year, so Bruce Weary, who is a endurance rider from Arizona, sponsored, I believe, 5 riders this year, or he gathered sponsors, I should say, who sponsored 5 people who are tackling the ride. this year. And so, yeah, absolutely. If there are folks out there in the world and you think, wow, this is so cool, I'm never going to be able to do this for whatever reason. Sponsoring a ride or teaming up with someone, having someone to cheer on is a really wonderful way to give back to the sport. You can also donate money to the Western States Trail Foundation directly. If you go to teviscup.org, there's a big donate now button on the website. And again, that is they are a nonprofit, so that is a tax deductible contribution. And you help contribute to the trail maintenance, all of the activities, all of the logistics, all of the things that go on to make this ride happen every year. Some of you probably know that this is the oldest endurance ride in, I believe, the world. I'm going to say the world. I'm going to go out there. It started in 1955, and the sport of endurance was founded from this ride. And actually, the sport of ultra running also descends from the Tevis Cup. So that's always one of my fun facts I love to throw out there. We have close ties to the running community. The Western States Run is the sister event to this this event, and that was started in the 1970s by a rider named Gordy Ansley, who showed up to the ride and his horse was lame, and he thought, well, shoot, I'm just going to go run it. And that's how we have ultra marathons. That's a very shortened version of that story. But yeah, that is literally how the Western States Run got started. I think the first year was 73, 74. And that was the year, Gordy ran it. Running is a far more, what's the word I'm looking for? There's a lot more people that do running now in the U.S. Ultra running has been growing in numbers in recent years. So we like to partner with them because it's very, very similar sport. We just have a horse involved, but similar types of things. Okay. We have a horse coming, but I'm going to put the camera down. I'm going to turn myself around. We're going to look at a water trough, and now I'm going to have some water. Thanks, everybody, for your patience. We're just taking a little break. Okay, we've got a horse in. Let's see who it is. They're going to come right back.
106.
106, thank you. We have rider number 106 coming by here. Travis Underwood from Arizona. Okay, so this is a, I believe, he owns this horse now, but this is one of the, I'm forgetting Christoph's business name. Global Equestrian? Global Endurance? GE? That's why it's GE? Yeah. Okay. Sorry, Christoph. It all blurs together at some point. So Christoph Schork is entered in the ride this year and bred that horse, and I believe rode that horse for a bit. I'd have to look up the record, but now is owned by this gentleman out of Arizona. Okay. We've got a few more riders coming in here. This is Alicia, I believe she pronounces her name Alicia. So she resides here in the U.S., but I believe represents Lithuania, which is where she's from. We'll get those numbers as these folks come by.
Brunner from Texas.
Okay.
And We've got 57 here. That's Brandon Brunner from Texas on BKR Bellissima Sans Flame. And then behind him, you just talked about her, yes? Alicia.
I'm not remembering her last name.
On PA Jethro. Number 27 and number 57.
So the gray mare is an Anglo-Arab.
For those of you asking about thoroughbreds competing in Tevis, the gray mare that just passed us by is an Anglo-Arab, which means half Arabian, half thoroughbred. And there have been a number of thoroughbreds who have completed Tevis over the years. The horse that came in before the gray, let me find that for you, is PA Jethro.
Cool. All right, so we're going to come look at, here's one of the Crater Hill horses. This is one of our juniors this year. This is, let's get a number. 35. Okay, this is Kendall Groth, rider number 35.
His name is Breadline. Bread? Like a loaf of bread?
The horse's name is Breadline. We also have rider 33, who's another one of our juniors. And we have their sponsor here, Sam Ellis. I don't have Sam's number. And actually, we have 32, another junior. So we got 3 juniors here. Oh, that's Tierney and Jax Bellaberg. They've been doing a lot in endurance the last couple of years.
And that gray is High Marks.
Okay, the gray horse is Hallmarks. High Marks, sorry.
The bay is Fancy Finesse.
And the bay is Fancy Finesse.
And then that is
Here we have number 23.
Caroline Lindquist.
Oh, this is our Swedish rider, Caroline Lindquist. Carolyn and I were hanging out at a mutual friend's house. What was that, Thursday? Friday? I don't even know what day it is anymore. And so I got to chat with Carolyn a little bit. It was always nice to meet and see our international riders. And then we have number 31. Okay, so Sam Ellis is number 31. Okay, Dance With Me, this chestnut. And then there goes rider number 35. Okay, a few more in here. We'll get their numbers as they come by. I think it's, 43. Okay. Oh, yeah. Well, here you go. Here's one of our. Okay, we'll start here. Here's Gail Mensch, number 92, from Texas. He's a repeat rider. There goes rider number 91 and 93. Glenn Morgan and Alex Niehaus. So Alex there, number 93. She's a third-generation endurance rider here in California. Her grandparents and parents have all done endurance. Horse number 94. It's Mom. There you go. There's Mom. There's Jen Niehaus, number 94 going by. And that's her dad in front of her in the tie-dye shirt, Dennis Souza. Okay, here goes Gail. Oh, one of my favorite humans has come in. Okay, we'll get to them in a moment. Actually, now I'm going to go down there and bug them. Let's go bug them, Molly. So I'm gonna go bug Krista. So we have 2 of the people we've been waiting for here. We have Lindsay Fisher here, number 17. And Biscuit. Biscuit's been a mama. Now she's back doing rides. Okay, so here we have rider number 78. So this is Emily Hart. This is my horse's half brother. Oh, we got another one sneaking by, 74. Okay, 62. Uh-huh. Oh, I've already talked about him. Thank you. Hi, love. How's your ride going? Krista says it's going well. She's sick. She has a chest cold. This is Stretch. He's a good guy. He's one of the tallest equines entered this year in the ride. He's 16'1", which is why I call him Stickbug. That's his loving nickname. I love how matchy you are. I love the color. This is good. It's all in your normal. Okay, so yes, Emily Hart's horse here, Finn. This is his first Tevis. Yep, that face is, I recognize the face. Their sire had a very distinctive head shape, and so I'm just bugging these guys because we know them and I know they're willing to talk. This is also Stretch's first Tevis. He is, I think he's registered half Arab, but he is, oh my goodness, what is Stretch? Now I'm forgetting. I'm going to have to go look it up. He is a cross. I can't remember what the other part is. Okay, so 62 here. Did we get number 62? Okay, this is Shanti Curtin, number 62. I believe this was one of our sponsored riders this year. I could be wrong about that. We'll check that for you guys. Or if somebody online wants to check the list of sponsored riders. Okay, the chaos is ensuing. We're gonna go over here a little bit. Just give a shout out if the feed quality starts to drop as we move around. We're gonna go back to our station because I just feel like I'm in the way. Okay. So we were talking earlier about shoes. We have another horse here in the sneakers, the orthotics. Finn was in one of the Easy Care products with the new sticky, the curved tabs. I'm forgetting the name of them. That was rider 52, 58, 52, 56. 50 some. 58? It's a mare, chestnut mare.
Yeah, sure. Carrie Bruscotter.
Oh, that's Carrie Bruscotter from Ohio. Yes. This is her first Tevis attempt, I believe. All right, we're gonna turn around here. I don't want to be all up in people's business. Okay, so that's Lindsay Fisher, number 17, on her mare Biscuit. And they're cooling. Biscuit's poking around, having a drink.
You want to talk about horses drinking on trail?
Ooh.
That's the thing they need to do.
Yeah, we do need to drink. Yeah, so again, with hydration, I was mentioning to everybody earlier that for me, if my horse had not been drinking until this point or was not drinking, I'd be worried. That's just me. I know my horses, though. I know when they drink. Most endurance riders do, and that can definitely be a sign that something might be going on. It might be the horse is uncomfortable, or they're lots of things. All right, these people are happy. They have pulsed. Okay. Oh, you can measure how much your horse is drinking by the number of gulps they take. There's a vet in the West region who shout out to Dr. Kerr, who always, every ride, Jamie's like, how many gulps? How many gulps has your horse had? I want to know, are you counting? I count the gulps. And so he estimates what was his estimate? 32 gulps for a gallon of water. If anybody remembers him saying differently, let us know. But it's an estimate. You can estimate. I do think some horses are gulpers, though, right? Like some just inhale water, and then you've got the sippers. So, it's good to measure. It's good to know. You give your horse a bucket of water, you can measure that, right, and see, okay, they've sipped 10 times on a normal day. How much water has actually gone out of the bucket? It's a good measure. Some of those hydration studies that we were talking about earlier, as well as work done by Dr. Susan Garlinghouse. She did a study, and I think it was 90 something, 96, 97, a weight study here at Tevis, and looked at a lot of hydration stuff, and found that the difference in like gut motility and some of the, I'm not paraphrasing this well, but just even the difference of a gallon of water can be like your horse is colicking versus your horse is fine. So their systems are fascinating. They are metabolically both similar to and very different from human bodies in terms of how they hydrate, and just a gallon of water can make the difference. So
You can measure a horse's hydration.
yes, through our hydration parameters. So I have a little bee friend here that I'm, okay, thank you, bee friend. I got another bee friend. I love these guys. We're going to look. Okay. Bee friend with the bee friend. You guys can't see my sleeve on my left arm, but I have a bumblebee actually tattooed on my left arm. And this guy's just coming to say hi. Just poking around. This is, I don't know what species this is. Sorry, I'm going to go off on a bugs tangent here, everyone. I love bumblebees. But these guys are always up at Robinson.
You got more water over in the tank.
It won't focus.
You're
Look at this little guy.
Here, I can fill you up.
Nope. Okay. All right. We're going to hang out with our bee friends some more. But anyway, these guys are up here at Robinson Flat. I don't know if they're a native bumblebee in California, one of the native species, but they're cool, and I always love seeing them. They're attracted to the water, right? Because we've got water on the ground here. They're thirsty. They're having a drink. This one's very interested in my tattoo. Okay. Anyway, what were we talking about before I got distracted by a bumblebee? Hydration parameters. Okay, so you've got a couple. You've got jugular refill, which is where you, if you know where the jugular is on a horse, you can just basically push your thumb into it lightly, and how quickly it springs back and refills is a good sign of hydration. I personally use skin tenting just because it's easier to get. You have more area where you can do it on. And you can do it while you're riding. But good thing to do is, know what's normal for your horse. Like when you're at home, when your horse is sitting around in their paddock at home, what does their skin tenting look like? No, and that's, it's just great information to have in endurance, whether you're doing Tevis, you're doing limited distance rides, you're a trail rider, whatever. Hydration is really important. And knowing that and knowing what's normal can really help put you at ease at a ride like this. And you can know, okay, yeah, my horse maybe is, they're fine, despite not drinking as well as they could, they're fine, this is normal, versus, oh God, I need to be worried because I'm starting to see change in behavior. Okay, here he is, the man, the myth, the legend, Hal Hall. So Hal is, he's, I think it's his 42nd entry, and if he completes this year, he will tie with Barbara White for 34 completions, which make them the two highest number of completions in all of Tevis history. So, that's a lot of Tevis.
He was also on one of the youngest horses to win the Hagen in 72.
So he's also, in 1972, was on one of the youngest horses ever to win the Hagen Cup in 1972.
One of his horses has completed Tevis more than 10 times.
Yes, that was okay, we're getting some names. I'm working on El Cabaj, one of his horses, completed Tevis more than, I think it was 11 times. So that horse also is one of the highest number of finishers, or holds a record, I believe, for finishing Tevis. Oh, we're going to get this rider's number. I believe this is Christine Hartman. 77?
Christine Hartman.
This is Christine Hartman. I believe Christine is also going for, she a Roby, or not a Roby, 1,000 buckle. I know she has her 1,000-mile buckle, so Christine has finished the ride 10 times. I can't remember what, she's going for 11 or 12 here this year. And she has opted for, oh, she is going for her 10th buckle. Okay, apologies. I thought she had already done it. So that's going to be exciting for her. If she completes the ride today, this will be her 1,000-mile buckle. She will have completed the ride 10 times. This horse here is wearing Easy Care glove glue-ons. Traditional option. They've been on the market for a long time now. I want to say getting close to 20 years maybe. They were a very popular option for a long time at Tevis. Hal's horse looks like it is wearing sneakers up front and just plain old steel behind. Yeah, so a question about clipping. That's a rider choice. Again, I would say, depending on how well you know your horse, what kind of coat they grow, what kind of climate you're coming from, would be all the decisions I would look at. Molly, did you clip the horse you were riding the year you rode?
No.
Molly did not clip her horse. She chose not to, and was fine and completed.
For his 5th time.
For his 5th time. The year I did it, I did clip because I figured why not, and I did not complete, but that was my fault, not the horse's fault. Nothing to do with clipping. Okay, there goes Christine. And this mare, she had another gray mare that she rode in the sport for a long time, called Tess, and I believe that mare has been retired now, but I think that mare had a number of Tevis completions. Again, I'd have to go back and check her record with Christine, and this is her newer mare. Apparently she has a thing for gray mares, as do I. Okay, we're gonna go. We're gonna go back to the table here for. Oh no, we're not going to the table. We've got another horse coming. Let's see. Let's do a little time check. What time is it? 11:09. So it's 11:09. We're doing fine. So the pulse cutoff time for Robinson Flat is 12:30. Those have varied over the years. We've had different times, different years, but. This year, the pulse cutoff time for Robinson Flat is 60 beats per minute by 12:30 p.m. So we still have almost an hour and a half here for horses to come in. Maybe if someone in the chat wants to check and see how many horses we've had come in and give that info or shout that out in the chat. I feel like we've had at least half at this point come through. Okay. Oh, here's Christoph. Christoph's in. So this is Christoph Schork. He is, I think he still holds the record, the AERC record for the most number of wins. He's the winningest rider in the sport. He wins everything. And he is, what's Christoph's horse's name? I think this is Blizzard of Oz. Yeah, this is Aussie. So there they go. So he's also got an indirect cuff glue-on package. Christoph does his own shoeing and farrier work. He's a longtime Easy Care trimmer product user. And there they go. And here's horse number 21. This is our New Zealand rider, Jackie Bakerton. I don't know where the rider is. Maybe she's in the restroom. Maybe she's run off screaming back to New Zealand. No. Is one of our international riders. Christoph often sponsors international riders on his horses. So somebody was asking earlier about leasing horses for Tevis, and Christoph Schork's ranch group organization leases horses sometimes. So they're one of the groups that does that. Christoph is from Germany originally, so I know he, like I said, sponsors a lot of the international riders. All right, now we got a little gap. We're going to sit ourselves down. We're going to set the camera down and stabilize that. Only 100 she never finished. And I'm pissed off because otherwise I'd be able to say Aisha was the product of 2 Tevis finishers. But she finished VC, so we still love Bonnie. Thanks for the shout out, guys. Yeah, no, I try and make this interesting, right? You know, my husband is an avid motorcyclist and longtime MotoGP watcher. And I love watching MotoGP because, shout out to our European friends, they just do better announcing. They're more entertaining. American sports are very dry, I think, in their announcing. And so I'm nowhere near as good as the professional European announcers, but try and give people interesting information, look at interesting stuff. Thanks for the shout out. Okay, we have Jennifer Gomez here, rider number 75, the gray, number 75, and number 70, I think. Oh. And we have rider number 70, Andrew Gerhard. Andrew is going for his something buckle. We're checking. I'm getting information. Okay, yeah, that is rider number 70. That's Andrew Gerhard. He's another. He also runs, distance runs, and so he has been doing a bit more of that in the last couple of years. I don't know if Andrew has run 100 miles yet. If anybody knows Andrew, has he run 100? Okay. Yes, his horse is a relative of Chindanka's Express, who Molly Kuraz was riding, who's going for his 5th completion this year. These are racing Arab lines. All right. So people usually get very excited for the Mustangs. This might be our first Mustang in. I think so. Okay, so we have Lee Scribner, an Astro. Rider number 101. He is a Mustang. He's a big guy for a Mustang. And they have completed Tevis before. Okay. We have 63 or 64 here with Lee Scribner. We're working on... Oh, it's Lee Davy. Number 63? Yeah. Number 63, Lee Davy on the chestnut. Okay, Andrew's cooled. Horses drank. He's off. These guys are still cooling. So again, going back to cooling, I can hear that Lee's crew there has ice in their water. So that is another great way to really cool a horse rapidly, is to put ice water on them. Again, just it looks like they've opted for the shoulder neck area, which I understand. I get that. I don't know. I'd do ice water on a rump. And this horse is clipped. I can see it from here. And number 63 is a gaited horse, I think. we'll get some information. Poor Molly is looking up facts. That was a Rocky Mountain. Was that's our second gaited horse, I think, to come in? Okay.
Talk about ribbons in the tail?
I do want to talk about ribbons and tails. So this is something that I apologize, everyone. I'm going to get a wee soapbox here. I think we're losing this a little bit in the sport. I recently at a ride asked a ride manager to explain ribbon colors and tails because I am the proud owner of a horse that wears a red ribbon in its tail. And what that means is you give her a wide berth. Red tail means they kick. They do not want you close to their behind. They need a bubble, and they need a really good size bubble. A yellow ribbon is for stallions. We only have one stallion entered this year, and that's Taser Bezaroff. I forget his full registered name. And I haven't seen him yet.
We might have. Someone asked what the yellow ribbon is.
Did we miss Taser? Okay, well, we're checking. Oh, here he comes. We got the long ears. Okay, this is Shane Lesher. And Shane's riding Ticket, right? This is Ticket. And Ticket is going for number something completion. I don't remember what number, but we can look that up. Or if you go to teviscup.org and you look at the entry list, they'll list the number of equine completions as well as rider completions in that area. But Ticket is a mule, which for those of you who don't know is a horse crossed with a donkey. And I don't know what Ticket's horse side is, if it's Arab or thoroughbred. Some folks ride thoroughbred mules, so that is a donkey crossed with a thoroughbred. There are Arab mules out there. There's all sorts of different types of mules, but mules are famously used in the backcountry by the U.S. Forest Service. They've got the mule teams that go up. I know in Washington State, for example, in Olympic National Park, as well as North Cascades, because those are wilderness areas. They cannot take any mechanized or motorized things up into the wilderness areas, and so they do it all by mule teams. It's pretty cool to see the mules, and it takes a lot of training. I'm good. Hi, how are you guys? Good. Thanks. Sorry, saying hi to friends. To our fellow live stream, we'll give them a shout out. That was Brenna and Brandon who brought you Highway 89 this morning. All right, while we wait for Ticket to do whatever Ticket's doing, we're gonna, now I want to steal a bucket. Let's steal one of the Stolly's buckets. We're stealing the Stolly's buckets. Sorry, not sorry. Thank you. Yeah. All right, this way I can just set this guy down here and we can kind of watch and have a little bit of a better... There we go. Okay. So for those who didn't hear, this is Shane Lesher and Ticket, the mule. Ticket is the only mule entered in the ride this year. We have had more mules in the past, but this year she's the only one. Okay, here we go. And they're off. Okay. I'm going to keep you guys here for a minute. Just looking down as we got more horses coming in. Let's do a check. Let's see what's going on.
People enthusiastic about the mule. Everyone wants to see AP. Some people saying
we're going to work on. Oh, we got a whole cluster coming in here. This is what happens. We come in bunches and groups. We have rider number 23 and 44. Oh, we already. Okay, then we had a wrong number. 44. Who's 44? Kennel?
Kennelly?
Oh. 44 was Lynn Kennelly. We have rider number 45 here. Amelia Vandermeer. 96. This is Amber Oliver. We have 76. Emily Hansen just went by. We have another, we're going to get these numbers. Oh, okay, everybody's going to get real excited. I'm going to stand up here for a minute because we just had like a huge group of horses come in. All right. One of the fan favorites everybody's been waiting for. Team Jeep. They're here. He's right down there. I see AP. They are cooling. Their crew is hard at work there. We're still working on the chestnut here in front of us. No. That's Frank Crum, rider number 61. Okay, and here we have the intergalactic team. We've got Stevie, the leader, De La Hunt. Sorry, no, I messed up the last. Sorry, Stevie. I'm just making stuff up. On Alexander Hamilton, we have rider number 39, a junior. Alina, who's on full send. We have rider number 97. Deborah Olmsted on Chuck Norris. And I see there down at the end we have 7, another one of our Mustangs, which I just thought was the best name ever. Standing next to Jeep. Okay, unfortunately we don't have a rider number here. But you know what? I'm going to call this horse a roan. And I think there was only one blue roan entered this year. And that appears to be a gaited horse. And I recall there was a blue roan gaited horse. So that might be... Oh, and somebody else has snuck in here too. Yeah, this is a whole big crew. But here goes 7. 7 is, I believe, going for his 3rd or 4th completion this year. And they're a Bay Area team. And he is just a cute little guy. He's 13.3. So he's one of the shortest equines in the ride this year. Oh, it was 104. I did not get 104. Okay, that's Scott Stewart, number 104, on Fast Eddie. From Las Vegas, Nevada. Okay. Looks like AP is still cooling. Jeep is cooling. We have another Crater Hill team member here on the other side, but we're going to have to wait for them to get closer. And then sometimes when we get these big bunches, it does get hard to grab all of the numbers because people are just coming through. Okay, there goes AP Davis and Jeep. Okay, I'm going to set the camera back down here. We'll get these horses' numbers as they come. Oh, here he is. Here's Taser. Okay, this is Cassandra DiMaggio on Taser. And a lot of people ask about his little ear there. That is, he was born that way. And I forget the name for the condition, but He's had it his whole life. The ear works fine. It's functional. It is not genetic. He's a cool dude. He's out of really cool old like American Foundation Arab lines, and his ancestor, Bendos, was a very famous stallion early in Tevis Cup history. Okay, 34. We've got more Crater Hill. Ryan Ellis, the tiniest human. I believe I'm going to go on a limb and say Ryan might be the tiniest human this year. I don't have facts on that. That's just a guess. She's over there leading her horse. She's got to be all of 80 pounds. And then other Crater Hill person, we're going to find out. All right. Number 60. 66? 66. Vanessa Erickson. Okay, number 22. Here's number 20. 22. This is our French rider. And sorry, what was her name, number 22? Marianne Leborn. That was our French rider. Okay, so Cassandra does a nice job of really decorating Taser's tail. He's a good boy. He's pretty well behaved. But again, the yellow ribbon, going back to our conversation about ribbons, it means he is a stallion. So lots of stallions have completed the Tevis Cup. He just happens to be the only stallion this year. Well, that's an interesting question. Somebody was asking if other horses are weird. I don't think so. I've never seen another horse act oddly around him because of his ear. Maybe. All right, we've got a couple of horses coming in here. I think this is Terry 114. Is that Terry? That's Terry Zielinski. Sorry, Terry. Oh, wow. Okay, we got a horde coming in here. We're going to try and get all these numbers for you guys. We think this is number 51. Yes. That's Chelsea Arnold. On West Wing Dragon. Okay, we have Katie DeJong on Tonka, I believe one of our Mustangs. Here's number 52. Kyle Benedict, number 52. Number 41. Oh, it's Jaya May. That's Jaya May. And we have number 47. Addison Lico, another junior. So you can see we're really starting to roll in here. We've got another group of horses down here. Here's another fan favorite. We have at the end there Ken Campbell. He is riding M.M. Cody, who is a Hagen Cup horse. Prior to Ken owning him, he is going for, I believe, his 8th or 9th completion this year. Cody. We can get those stats. Here, we'll try and stabilize the camera here a little bit. Okay, we got another horse coming in here, I think. Very cute horse. That's an Arab face, if I've ever seen one. Okay, number 72. Here's Debbie Glasgow on Apollo, who either has to pee or is very stimulated by this environment. Yeah, this whole crew at the end, when they come by, we'll grab some numbers. Okay, so here's some fun Cody facts. He's the chestnut with the blaze at the end. He was the first Mustang to ever win the Hagen Cup. Ah, he's going for his ninth finish. Okay. He's 18 years old.
He's finished in the top 10 at 20 Mule Team and Van Dusen Doozy and Virginia City.
Yeah, so he's finished in the top 10 in a number of 100-mile rides, including Tevis, the Virginia City 100. Shout out to NASTAR and our friends in Nevada with the Virginia City 100, which is also considered one of the hardest 100-mile rides in the United States. And he finished in the top 10 at the 20 Mule Team ride in the PS region outside of Ridgecrest, as well as the Van Dusen Doozy, which was a ride that was only held for a couple of years here in California, in a really beautiful part of Northern California. So Cody is, he's a beast. Yeah, so my favorite Cody fact is that he was entered in Tevis 3 times before he finished. It was his 4th entry before he finished, and then he became a Hagen Cup winner. So if at first you don't succeed, try again. I think he's a really good lesson in longevity and perseverance, and if the horse has that special something, not all horses are 100-mile horses, not all horses are Tevis horses, but if we think the horse has something, sometimes hanging in there and sticking with it. Okay, we've got Washington folks coming in here. Okay. We have rider number 46. And okay, 81 behind them was McKenna. We got a whole cluster of folks. Okay, this is Rebecca Langtat from Washington. She is with her daughter, Roriana, in the red shirt. They are local shout out. I know them from Washington rides. And this is their first Tevis. This is an exciting thing. That's Dad there running around crewing. So we wish them success. We hope to see them at the finish line. These horses are both have a good number of miles on them and are experienced horses, but this is their first Tevis attempt. And number 41, Roriana's horse, is a Mustang, and she started riding when she was 8 years old, did all of his training and conditioning herself. I believe she's now 14, 15. So it's impressive for a child, right, to be starting and training their own horse in the sport, and then bringing him along to now, hopefully, we're keeping our fingers crossed, being a Tevis horse. Okay. Let's see who else we have. Oh, yes, our other Washington team here, our other mother-daughter combo. Number 43. So this is Clara and Jody Shimway from Washington. Oh, this is To the Max. It's Clara's horse. And Jody's horse, I'm spacing on his name. Sunset and Cisco, that's right. These are, both horses. All of these, the Washington crew here, all of these horses, I believe, have done hundreds. So this is not their first 100, but it is their first Tevis attempt. So good to see all 4 of them come in here at the check. And behind them is number 90, and that's Johnny Jewell from Texas. Johnny is, shout out to Johnny. She often helps us on the live feed, and this year is riding, and she looks hot. Johnny looks hot. She looks like she's ready for a break. So we're glad to see her here. She's wearing her signature shirt. That, I believe she said she's worn that shirt either the last time she finished Tevis or every time she's finished, and so it's like her lucky shirt. She likes the blue. Okay, wow, we can see there's really here's a busy vet line here. So this is one of the things that happens, the vets want to take their time, make sure these horses are in good shape, and so sometimes we get a little backed up in the vet lines. We'll set the camera here for a minute and have a look at the Okay, everybody headed down to the vet line. What time is it? 11:37. These folks are still doing fine. I mean, like we said earlier, the cutoff time to come into Robinson and be pulsed is 12:30. So these horses have are all going down to the pulsing area. They hopefully will be about to pulse. They're going to go see the vets. And we got a little rush hour here. Just okay. We have more riders coming in now. I'm gonna turn as I knock over my Starlink. Hold on, Starlink down. Okay. Let's see who we've got here. We've got these numbers are really coming off. Okay, the gray is number 44. I can't see a number on this black horse. Unfortunately, it might have rubbed off or too dark. Sometimes it's really hard. Sorry? Lynn Kennelly is rider number 44. Oh, this horse in front of me here, I believe, is another Pacific Northwest rider, if I'm not mistaken. I believe this is, I think the horse is called Legs. And they were just up at the Mount Adams ride and did the 100 on the 4th of July weekend. We have Scarlett Hager on Dino, sorry, number 110. All right, everybody's cooling. We're going to get these numbers as best as we can as these folks come by. We're going to come back to our bucket so we can. Okay, there we go. So we're going to wait for people to come by and then get these numbers of these riders for you. Okay, I'm going to take a quick minute. I'm going to step away from the mic here, but we're going to keep you guys looking at these folks, and we'll get you some numbers.
What model of Starlink are you using? Curious minds want to know.
Okay, sorry, I had to send screen up. I am, and I say this truthfully, like literally, I am incredibly fair complexioned. I'm probably the whitest person I know, and I have to regularly put on my sunscreen. And if anybody wants to challenge me, and if there's anybody out there who's paler than I am, I accept challengers, but you'll lose. Okay. We talked about horse number 44. Some people were asking about what the KC stands for on the trough. That's probably whoever owns the trough or loaned it, because these are just like we stole the Stolly's bucket, which we're sitting on now. People mark their stuff so it doesn't go missing at the end of the ride. Okay, we have rider number 24. 24. No, 24. Sorry. Natalie Piroli from New Zealand. Okay, another one of our New Zealand riders just went by. And somebody was asking about what Starlink. I don't know. The box is covered. I don't have the model number. It is a full-size one, though, and we got it in the last 2 years. So it's one of the newer ones. Okay, and rider number 45. Yeah, 45. Okay. Some of those riders I think were representing to the vets, so we may have already given them a little bit of coverage. That happens. Sometimes you got to go see the vets again. Oh, we still have quite the scene here at the vet check. Lots going on. There are a lot of people down there. Okay. If anybody, I don't know if we have anybody in the chat who wants to look and see how many riders have come into Robinson Flat. If you go to the standings and you refresh, it will give you a count usually of the number of riders in. I believe we had 103 start this morning. I know there were a few polls at Red Star. So we're waiting on less than 100 horses to come in here. Somebody's asking how many vets are here. I see 4. There might be 5. 4 or 5 of the vets are here, including our head vet, Dr. Mike Perales. So I was prompted about trough etiquette. Yes, more etiquette along with ribbon etiquette in endurance. So here's the thing. We're in California. California was in a drought. I don't know, probably still is. I left. I'm not keeping tabs. And we have to make sure that there's enough water for the horses to drink. Now, we're fortunate up here at Robinson because we've got this big, I can show it to you, water tank over here, and we have volunteers that staff it, and that thing is full of water, and we can use that for cooling, sponging, drinking, all of the stuff. I don't know if it's potable. I don't believe it's potable, but it's horse water. But with troughs and endurance, the general etiquette is that horses can drink out of troughs. If you need to sponge your horse, you don't just stick your gross sponge in the trough. You take a bucket, right, like this. And you get your sponge, you just bucket the water out and then sponge the horse from that, or just dump it on the horse. And that way the trough doesn't get completely disgusting. Right? So there's a little bit of hay in there. There's some schmutz at the bottom and stuff like that, but that's still clean drinking water for the horses. Okay, we've got something going on. We're looking. We're trying to get some numbers. Okay, so we think that it's Nance Ann Warman from Boise, Idaho. The paint is okay. The paint we think is Nance Ann from Boise. Okay, this is our thoroughbred. So yeah, our big gal here is Naya. She is the only I think I checked only purebred thoroughbred entered in the ride this year, and I'm sorry, her owner's name is Shiloh Williams, and they are also from Idaho. So she is officially, you are looking at the tallest equine entered in the ride this year. She's 16.3, which is, well within normal size range. For a thoroughbred, of course, Arabs don't usually get that big. Although we're grown and big these days. A lot of endurance riders like tall Arabs. They like them to have, bigger trots, more ground covering movement, more efficiency. A lot of the racing lines have a tendency to be taller. But the breed standard, at least in the United States, remains 14.2 to 15.2. And you will see Arabs, plenty of purebred Arabs outside of that range. My mare is maybe 14.2. I don't know. I've never measured her. She's short. But yeah, a lot of folks favor taller horses these days for endurance. Don't ask me why I'm not tall. I don't know. Okay, there she goes. There goes Naya. 108. Yeah, food. Let's talk about food because that's such an important thing. So there's an interesting and complex relationship between food and hydration with horses and their GI systems. Horses, so hydration is really important for their gut motility to keep solid food moving through their gut. And they also do need to keep eating. So they're not going to necessarily eat enough calories during the course of the ride to replenish the fat loss that's happening, but they need to keep eating to keep their gut motility up. That's really the big thing. So, you ask endurance riders to talk about what their horse eats, how to get him to eat. You get everything. It is probably the most discussed topic in the sport. There's an answer for every rider. There's an answer for every horse. I've unfortunately been dealing with this with my own horse. And I think I've found some success in what she needs, and also getting some underlying medical issues addressed so that she feels more comfortable eating. But lots of things to rule out medically if you have a horse that's not a good eater at rides, and there can be a behavioral component to eating. We don't think about this, but a lot of basic behavior like eating, drinking, going to the bathrooms, there's still a operant, meaning a learned component to that behavior, even for horses. So you'll notice, right, for example, maybe you have a horse that only goes in a certain corner of their stall, or they'll only pee on the trailer and drive you nuts, or they, want their mash first and then they will eat hay, but never the hay before right? Those quirks are definitely just part of what makes an individual horse a horse. But I think my advice to anybody who has a horse that is struggling to eat and you're doing endurance, get with your vet. Go get with your vet. Get a good relationship with a vet who knows the sport. Talk to them. Seek knowledgeable riders in the sport, like high mileage riders, and rule out any underlying medical concerns. It could be ulcers. It could be other GI conditions. It could be musculoskeletal pain. It could be, literally anything. Eating is one of those behaviors that is tied very closely in horses to so many other things that it's not this like clean cut, circle over here of things that control eating. It's a Venn diagram. And again, it's controlled also. If you have a horse who's dehydrated, they may not want to eat. And conversely, if you have a horse that's dehydrated, they actually sometimes don't want to drink either, and that gets really tricky, and whole system can get backed up and slowed down. So, eating and drinking. One of the vets in the Pacific Northwest who vets rides every single ride meeting, he talks about, like many of the vets do, eating, drinking, pooping, peeing, moving freely. Those are his 5 things that he is always looking for, and if your horse is not doing one of those 5 things when you come in for a hold, he's going to want to have a conversation. But Ultimately, it is really up to us as the riders to be monitoring that. You got to know your horse. You got to know what's normal. You need to know where they are. Horses are just like us. They can, anybody who's a runner, right, will be familiar with bonking. Horses will bonk, absolutely. They can get their like blood sugar can go nuts, right? Sometimes horses that eat a diet that's very rich in non-structural carbohydrates, especially the timing around feeding non-structural carbohydrates, they can go, ugh, and not feel so great and get kind of an energy crash. And so one of the things that I think a lot of people think in endurance but may not realize is we're a lot of forage-based. I mean, all horses should be eating a forage-based diet. Forage-based meaning hay, pasture, hay products as the basis of the diet, and then there's other ways of getting caloric needs met, but it's really important, and there's really good research out there showing the importance of getting a good forage mat in the stomach for ulcer prevention, as well as in the hindgut, because it helps increase the hydration in the hindgut. So basically horses, the more forage they eat, the more water they're able to retain and store in their GI systems, which helps them out as they go down the trail. Yeah, electrolytes. We're not even discussing the what to electrolyte. That is another hotly debated and discussed topic in endurance. Everybody, you ask one person, you'll get 5 answers. We can electrolyte at any time in endurance. There are definitely some protocols out there that a lot of people use. There's pre-mixed electrolytes that can be administered. There are you can mix your own, you can use commercial, you can just do salt. I mean, there's all sorts of recipes out there. That is a very individual horse thing. So some horses need a lot of electrolytes. They need to sip throughout the day, right? Just like a human runner, they need their salt and their water thing, and they're taking sips every couple of miles, and other horses need less. It's down to breed, size, physiology, gender, temperament. I mean, there's so many factors that control how much salt, sodium chloride, the horse is going to need. There are other things they should be getting in their electrolytes too. The big one in horses, other than sodium and chloride, is potassium. And there's some other minerals that they lose in more trace amounts, but sodium chloride and potassium, as well as calcium, are the big 4 we want to watch for in endurance. You can get blood work done on horses. I recommend doing this. I did this on my horse. Actually helped me understand why she wasn't eating at rides, and we were able to identify and resolve an underlying medical issue because I got her blood pulled. We in the Pacific Northwest region have a blood machine. Her name is Camilla, the blood machine. And she comes to rides, and it's cool because you pay, I believe it's $50, and you can get your blood drawn pre-ride and post-ride and do a little comparison and see how your electrolyte protocol is working. It's really helpful information. It's just quick, at a glance, blood work, helps you dial in electrolytes, looks at liver enzymes, looks at a couple of other basic blood panel type things on the go. So thanks PNER and the blood machine for having that available. Molly's so good at prompting me. Okay, sorry, I had to take a moment there to deal with my own personal horses who are with a friend in Greenwood right now with my trailer. And my friend is there, and she's like, do I put them in? Do I leave them out? And one of my horses has insulin dysregulation, and that was the underlying medical issue that we just identified and addressed with her. It caused some elevated liver enzymes in her blood work, and that was one of the early signs she had. Her liver's fine. We've ruled it all out. It's not going to fall out. It does function. We had it ultrasounded and tested. But I'm giving instructions to my friend to check a couple of their health parameters, including their digital pulses, because she's out in there's some plant matter on that lot, and I don't want them eating a lot of what's out there. I want them eating their safe food, their low starch and sugar food. So, I mean, man, we could talk for hours and hours and hours about equine metabolic syndrome, EMS, Cushing's disease, insulin dysregulation in horses. It's a very interesting area, and all I can say is if you are really looking for resources on equine, sorry, we're moving over here, equine metabolic conditions, I recommend you check out ECIR. It's Dr. Kellen's website. They're pretty much the leading experts on metabolic related, let's call it insulin dysregulation and related conditions in horses. So go check out ECIR if you're interested in that and want to learn more about insulin and how it works in horses. Okay. We have a rider here. He's on not an equine. It's a nice mountain or cyclocross. Is that what they're called? Mountain bike with the different tires on it, and there he goes.
Rider passed the vet check.
He looks okay. He's still walking, so he doesn't need to go through the vet check. Okay, I think what we can do here, I'm gonna put the camera back down. We're gonna look and see how many horses we are waiting on here at Robinson Flat. Okay, it looks like we're only waiting on about 5 or 6 horses here at Robinson Flat. Everybody else has come in who's going to be joining us today. We've got, and I'm just going by the same information you guys have, the standings. I looked to see who's out of Red Star, but has not come in to Robinson Flat. And like I said, it's only about 5 or 6 horses we're waiting on here. So things are starting to quiet down. We have a lot of riders that are out of Robinson. The front runners are down the trail now. Again, go to, I think there's been links dropped in the comments, but go to teviscup.org, and on the main page there is a Ride Day Links button that you can click. You can see the GPS trackers, the standings, hunt around in there, all sorts of good information. You can look at the standings based on rider number, rider name, vet check, all sorts of stuff to see if somebody you are cheering on is still entered in the ride or not and where they are. All right, we've got a horse in here, so we're gonna get you a number. Mrs. Gray just came in. This is rider number 73. Okay, this is Aaron Glassman, rider number 73. Where's Aaron from? Aaron's from Kansas. On Rush Creek Bonanza. Rush Creek horses are very famous in Tevis history. The Hyannis Cattle Company and Rush Creek bred horses in Kansas for years and years, and they dominated the Tevis and a lot of endurance rides in the 1970s and 80s. Their breeding program stopped, I believe, about 15 years ago-ish, and they were, they're highly sought out. They were working ranch horses, all purebred Arabs, I think, but like I said, well known in endurance and sought after for many decades in endurance. Yay, Greta! How are you? I'm good. I'm cheering for you. We're going to give you a shout out on the live feed. All right, so here we have, well, you get to say hi regardless. So here we have Greta from Snohomish, Washington. What's your rider number?
54.
54, rider number 54.
With Huckleberry.
With Huckleberry, he's a Morab.
Yes.
He's a good guy.
Yes, he is.
How's your ride going so far?
It's great. He has one little scrape on his leg, little bit of blood on his halter from where he scratched his head on that scrape, but that's okay.
It is.
Nothing tragic.
Greta is sharing that he has a little scrape on his leg, but otherwise they are having a great ride. And yeah.
Nothing like the horse with the arterial.
Oh, we've got, Hold on. It looks like we've got some more folks in here. We're going to give a shout out to Mary, who, who has the signature Tevis dust face going on. This is Mary. Yeah. You just get in that trough. There you go. Okay, so this is Mary Kraus. Yeah, there you go. This is Mary Kraus from Snohomish, Washington.
And Grace always looked tired and sad, but she's happy and she's doing great.
And Mary is sharing that her horse is happy and doing great, despite looking calm and quiet. Is this Sky? This is Sky. Okay. Okay, so this was a switch. This was last minute excitement because you were going to ride Ollie.
All of her cows.
Okay.
Decided all of her cows just to live.
Okay. Okay.
My needs are
Yep. Yep. Okay. Yep. All right. Onward. Good work. Go team. You too. Okay. So Mary has finished Tevis before, but her daughter Greta there. This is her first Tevis, and so they again are from Washington. And Mary, we were chatting because I helped Mary out at the Mount Adams ride this year, which is a 100-mile ride in lovely Mount Adams, Washington. If anybody's looking for a lovely 100 to do that is not Tevis, come check us out in Washington. Okay, so this is number 102, 103. He's a Morgan that I know. I recognize the horse. This is Ranger Aragon. This is Rider 102, Marcel Smith. This is Ranger Aragon. He is a Morgan. He was one of 2 Palominos. We had Jeep. It's the other Palomino this year. This guy's the second. He's a very handsome boy. He was a stallion, actually, I believe a breeding stallion, and then gelded, and now he's doing endurance. And then rider number 50. Chris Amaral on Isa. Good name. My horse's name is Isa. That's rider number 50 over there. So I think, Greta and Mary and these two, these might be some of our last riders coming in. We might be waiting for 1 or 2 more people, but we're going to go back to our steady bucket. Just pivoting here. Oh, sorry. Okay, we did this horse. See, we're starting to lose track. This is Isa. And what was the rider's name? Chris Amaral. Where are they from? Oh, they're from Bend, Oregon. Oregonians, more Pacific Northwest folks. We actually had a good number of Oregon and Washington riders this year entered. I think there were 7 or something like that. All right, handsome man here is parading around still. Having a good drink. See, this is good. This is good drinking. Okay. I think we're looking at the standings here. I think we are only waiting on 1 or 2 more horses. So if anybody has any last questions, thoughts, comments, suggestions, feedback, whatever, pop them in the chat. We're going to stay live here until we get those last 2 horses in. But then we will be shutting off the feed here at Robinson Flat. The next spot to go live is going to be Lucy at Deadwood. I believe around 1, but again, we base that timing on how people are pacing. This is this ride. I don't want to say it's slower this year. That's a little bit. I think we're more on average this year is what I would say. I think the first horse it's not a fast year. There we go. That's a good word. I think our first horse was in at Robinson a little after 10, and that's kind of average statistically. Let's see, but yeah. Like I said, any questions, thoughts, comments, anything, you can put them in the chat. We're going to wait for these last couple of riders, and then we're going to be wrapping the feed up again. Next feed is going to be Deadwood. Unfortunately, I think due to volunteer timeline and capacity, we won't be able to stay live at Deadwood for all of the horses. And we're not at the vet check itself. We're about a mile outside of the check on the trail, so you get to see some live action horses actually going by, which is kind of cool to see both, right? You get to see the vet checks, which is here, Robinson Flat, and other checkpoints. And then you can see horses actually out on trail. We have some goals in coming years of getting some drone footage. That is tricky because you need to get permits for your drones. Don't just fly drones around in the wilderness. You'll make the Forest Service angry. So we're working on some other things to continue to bring everybody some different footage and locations live. All right. Somebody asked a question about what part of the ride is the most difficult. And I think if you ask any Tevis person who's ridden it a lot, they'll tell you the canyons. So we are not at the canyons yet. We're at mile 36. The canyons are the section of the ride from mile 50 until mile 67 in Forest Hill, 68. And it's 3 canyons. You go down and up, and that is the majority of the elevation gain and loss on the ride is in the canyons. It is hot down there. It's a very technical trail, and there's water at the bottom of each of the canyons, so you get to rest and refuel. But the Deadwood check that we'll be live at, Lucy will go live here in a bit. I can't remember if she's just before or just after the check, but she'll tell you. Is I believe Deadwood, I'm not looking at my card, sorry, I always mix up the order in the canyons, but I think Deadwood is the first vet check after the first canyon. The first canyon is the largest. I don't remember what the elevation gain and loss is on it, but it's about the rule of thumb people will tell you is about it's an hour down and it's an hour up. So it's a big canyon. It's about 2 hours that you're moving around in there. Fortunately, there is water. But the point that you come up on the trail out of that first canyon is called Devil's Thumb. And that area, unfortunately, is very exposed now due to a fire that happened about 10 years ago, might have been more, 13 years ago now, that really took out a lot of the shade and the tree cover. And so it's a hot, dusty climb to Devil's Thumb, and then they go to Deadwood and continue into the second canyon. You come back up, you go through Michigan Bluff and Chicken Hawk is the vet check, and then they go into the third little kind of a mini canyon. It's smaller than the other two, and then you come up into Forest Hill for your next 1 hour hold. So we will be bringing you some coverage from Deadwood. We're going to bring some coverage from Chicken Hawk. Again, we're not sure exactly how long we'll be able to stay at those locations, but folks will try and stay as long as they can. And bring as many riders as you can, or as they can, live. And then I will be seeing you guys live at Forest Hill. We'll look at timing. I know on the scheduled feed it says that we were going to go live at Forest Hill at 3:30. We'll see. We're going to keep an eye on everyone. This is what technology is so great, right? We've got these Starlinks now and devices, and we can actually track the riders. We've got the spot devices on the riders. And so we will go live in Forest Hill dependent on when we think folks are going to be coming in, because I try and save the phone battery for as long as possible. My phone is going strong here. I got a new phone this year just for this ride. Maximum battery life. Okay. Let's see. What else? Any other last questions, thoughts? Any shout outs for Robinson Flat? Hi, Ireland. Someone's watching, joining us from Ireland, and is sharing that. Welcome. Hi, Europe. I don't even know what time it is. Let's see. Ireland, you guys would be 8 hours ahead? Does that sound right? It's 8:20 p.m. Yeah, 8 hours ahead. I know my European timing. All right. Yeah, we have folks join us from all around the world. It's always fun. I always appreciate both the Europeans and then the Aussies and the Kiwis keeping us up at night, because of course by the time it's 4 a.m. here, it's day for them, and they love to tune in for Buckle Hour and keep us alive and awake. Okay, we just checked, and I can see that we're just waiting on one more rider here. It's rider number 49, Chantel Allen. And I can see from the timings that she was out of Red Star at 11:15. It's 12:21 now, and there is a cutoff time for pulsing at Robinson Flat of 12:30 p.m. So we're hoping we'll see her here in the next couple of minutes, because she's got to have that horse pulsed and down in 9 minutes, which is possible. It is all possible, depending on how you're going and your horse's metabolics and pacing and all of that. So we're gonna stay. We're gonna hang out until 12:30. We hope to see her. Here, we'll change the view for a minute. We'll watch the crews. So I know we talked a little bit earlier about crews. They really are. Crew's so important as a rider. There's a lot to be said about crew. There was just a really great article. Again, shout out to PNER in our newsletter, which I was reading yesterday. There was a great article written by a Pacific Northwest rider on crewing and how to crew, and the really good tips and tricks and stuff in there. If you're like me and you're kind of a type A person, you have a binder and instructions, and you brief everyone and you train them and you do things like that, and you're a crazy person. It really helps. It goes a long way. Staying organized and on top of your timing in this sport is a huge part of the sport, especially if you are riding more back of the pack, or you're going a little more at a casual pace. You gotta stay. Tevis is all about timing. You can't waste time on this ride, and that sometimes folks get in trouble. They waste time. They spend too much time in the checks, and then they end up going overtime, and then you're just battling the clock all day, and it's really stressful. In my opinion, it's not very fun. Not that is entirely dependent on a crew, but a crew can really help make checks efficient. They have it down. They have a process. You can come in, you cool, right, as we've been seeing. You get that horse a drink, you get it cooled, you get your tack off, you get to the vets, right? You pulse as quickly as you can and you move on with life. Because every stop, you spend 5 minutes dilly-dallying around. Well, there's like 10 stops at Tevis, right? So we can all do the math. That's 50, 60 minutes you could waste right there. And that's time that you could save moving out on the trail at a more, consistent pace. So shout out to crews, shout out to all the volunteers, of course, that make this ride possible, and the crews and the friends and the family and everybody watching online who support the riders and the horses that continue to come back year after year, as well as those who choose to toe the line and see if they can get it done. All right, it's 12:27. I'm not seeing Chantel. Given that horses have to be pulsed by 12:30, I think it's pretty. I always like to hold out hope. You never know, but in 3 minutes, I'm not sure that she's going to appear and be pulsed in time. So I'm not the timers. I'm not a vet. I don't make official decisions, but we're getting down to the wire here, so we may not see Chantel here. Again, I'm going to wait another minute or two, or to stay live. But thanks everybody so much for joining us. We really appreciate everybody tuning in online. If you like what you have watched today and you appreciate what you're seeing, please consider sending a donation to the Western States Trail Foundation. Again, that is the nonprofit behind the Tevis Cup ride. They do the trail maintenance, they do all of the logistics, and they help preserve and maintain the trail for folks to enjoy with the, everybody knows California is a populated state. We've had a lot of land use changes over the last couple of decades, and the trail has shifted over time. But it's a lot of work that goes into keeping all of this accessible for everyone. So if you have enjoyed it, please consider sending them a donation, even if it's a small amount. to say thanks for the coverage that you've gotten today, and for the horses and riders, again, who have shown up. So we, I think, are going to be ending our feed here at Robinson Flat. Again, thanks for joining us. Appreciate you all, and we will see you. I will see you guys at Forest Hill, and Lucy will hopefully see you all at Deadwood shortly.